Hello everybody, I'm back and today we're gonna do more math. And remember, so far so good, we've already finished until 2-10. Now we're already in test 3. In test 3, we talk about the perimeter and area of shapes. So now let's do this, alright? So you know perimeter. Perimeter means the distance around the figure, right? That's when we say perimeter. And when we say area, area talks about the number of square units that would fit inside the figure. Very easy, right? Now let's start with the item number 1. 3-1. The rectangle. To solve for the perimeter and area of a rectangle, madali lang yung formula. For the perimeter, it's 2L times 2W. 2L because there are two lengths, right, that are identical. Because by definition means of a rectangle, opposite sides are equal. And two of the widths are also the same. So therefore, what you can do is this. I'll write it down here. So again, 2 times 20, di ba? Plus 2 times 8 inches. Tama? 2 times 20 is 40. 2 times 8 is 16. So altogether, that makes 56 inches. Don't forget to include your units because that's what perimeter and area is all about. Include your units, alright? Whatever your units are, that's your unit. So therefore, the perimeter of the rectangle is 56 inches. Alright? Now, what about the area? Ang area, madali lang yan. You just multiply the length times the width. Very easy. So 8 times 20, 8 times 2, 16. Plus 0, that's 160. So 160, what's your unit? Square inches. Bakit may square? Kasi po, remember, since we're talking about area, it pertains to the number of square units that would fit inside the figure. Kaya nga square inches to. Diba? Ano yung perimeter ulit? 56 inches, diba? Ayan. So that must be your answer. Next, let's go to number 2. For number 2, the problem is still easy. But here's a catch. Do you know what shape it is? That's right, it's a triangle. And to solve for the perimeter and area of a triangle, for the perimeter, you just add up all the sides together. But for the area of a triangle, do you know there's a formula to it, right? And the area of the triangle is base times height divided by 2. Why divide by 2? Because you need 2 of this to form the rectangle, right? And you need to get only one of them. So that's the answer. Now we have another problem. You see in the triangle, 2 of the dimensions have been given, but the one dimension is not. So what do we do about that? If your answer is play a game called Pythagorean Theorem, you are correct. So here's how we play. Remember Pythagorean Theorem, right? The concept of Pythagorean Theorem. Naalala mo yung Pythagorean Theorem concept, di ba? So we have this A, B, and C. So you have A squared plus B squared equals the C squared. Ano yung A squared? The A squared can be any of the two legs. But for most people, they would rather say that A is always the leg, the base. So ito yung A, 12 squared, plus the B squared, which we don't know, because the height is what we don't know, and is equivalent to 20 squared. For 12 squared, we know that's 144. For B squared, we don't know, and 20 squared is 400. Now we subtract. 400 minus 14, apply mental math. We can do this. This is 2. This is 6. And this is 5. And this is 6, right? 256. Then we take the square root of 256. We should get B as 16. 16 what? Ano yung dimension? It's in meters. So therefore, it's 16 meters. Alright? Now we can solve for perimeter. For the perimeter, you just need to add up all the sides together. And it's so easy. Because it's a scalene triangle, just add them individually. 16 plus 12 is 28. 28 plus 20 equals 48 meters. That's the perimeter of the triangle. Now for the area, it's base times height divided by 2. Well, that's easy. Because 12 times 16, you can simplify 16 and 2, which makes it 8 times 12. So you get 96 square meters na lang. Yan, although hindi siya makikita, basta what is important, yun yung sagot. 96 square meters. Yun po. Now let's go to item number 3. For item number 3, it's very easy. But this time, it's an obtuse triangle. Obtuse triangle to So now we need to play Pythagorean theorem again. How can you say that we can play Pythagorean theorem? Here's one condition. It's still the same just like what you did before in number 2, right? It's a triangle. Although for this matter, it's a right triangle. But for this matter, can you determine what triangle is this? That's right. It's an obtuse triangle. And for an obtuse triangle, you have one obtuse angle, which you see right here. But the good news is, sometimes when you solve for the perimeter and area of shapes, the height has already been provided for you. And the height is 5 meters. So we need to play Pythagorean theorem once again to solve for the remaining, which is this one, right? So we know that this is 5 meters and this is 13 meters going this way. But did you know this can also form a literal right triangle? It's just that this part has been cut. So therefore, how do we do this? We know that 13 meters is the hypotenuse, or that's the C. Then 5 is the B. So we need to solve for A. Although you already have A, which is the 8 meters. Kaya lang, to some students, they think yun na yung sagot. Hindi yan. Kasi nga, we're pertaining to the entire triangle. Kasi nga, if your dimensions 8 meters, that only pertains to the length, the base of this triangle only. But if you were to pertain to the entire triangle which you see here, it should be this entire thing. Kaya the entire thing ang makukuha mo. So therefore, you still need to add this one, this area. So that's why you need to play Pythagorean theorem. Now, we play Pythagorean theorem and the formula goes like this. A squared plus 5 squared equals 13 squared. You know already what to do. A squared is just all by itself. We have 25 and then 169. Subtract both sides by 25. We should get 441. Then take the square root of 144. We know that A is 12 meters. Yan. So now we already know the measure of this A. This entire A, it's 12 meters. Now that we got 12 meters, remember 12 meters is the entire thing. From here up to that side, up to the end. But remember, we have 8 meters from this point up to this point. So what do we do about that? If your answer is subtraction, you are correct. So we need to subtract and we should get 4 meters here. 4 meters to, diba? Now this is when the real Pythagorean theorem comes. Because it says here we need to do Pythagorean theorem twice. Why do we need to do Pythagorean theorem twice? One, for the entire triangle to get the measure of this side to that side. And again, to get this one. Remember, we're working on this triangle now. This one, you see yung naka-shade? That's the triangle that we're working on. 4 meters, that's the base. 5 meters, that's the height. And now we're gonna have to get the hypotenuse. So how do we get the hypotenuse? We play the game called Pythagorean theorem once again. So 4 squared, we know by definition means 4 squared is 16, 5 squared is 25. Add both sides, you get 41. Now we need to take the square root of 41. I'll just get my calculator and solve for that on your behalf. Okay, so now we type square root 41. What's the answer? Pindut mo yung equal. Ano yung sagot? Yes, the answer is 6.4. 6.40312 and a bunch of other numbers. Pero let's get 6.4 na lang para mas madaliin. So 6.4 yung sagot. So therefore, this measure should be 6.4 meters. Can you see it? Yan. Now all we need to do now is to add up all the numbers together. And that's how you get the perimeter. Perimeter is very easy. So 13 plus 8 is 21. 21 plus 6.4, that's 27.4 meters. Yan, just like what I said, don't forget to include your measure. Then for the area, mas madali pa rin yung area. Alam mo bakit? Kasi nga yung area, you just do base times height, divide by 2. Pero here's a catch. Remember, for some people, when they get the base of the triangle, when it comes to obtuse triangle, ang base na kinuha niya ay the entire triangle itself, which is wrong. Remember, we don't need to include this part, which is the 12 meters. We only need to get the base of the literal triangle itself, such that the triangle that we're working on. Not the entire triangle, such that we get up to the area where we got the height. Kasi nga to solve for the area of an obtuse triangle, you know we have an obtuse triangle, the height is found right over here. So this is the pinnacle, right? Even though it's on outbound. But what is important, the base of the triangle, even though the the height of the triangle is put somewhere on the outbound of the triangle. The base or the length of the base of that triangle that we're working on is still from this point up to this point. Or in short, we call it the inbound. So to solve for the area, it's not 12 times 5, it's 8 times 5. 8 times 5 is 40. Divide by 2, you get 20 meters squared. And that is our answer.